is about 3D movement in Godot. I will be posting the video right after I post this one so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. If you are a game developer and you have experienced problems with rotation in 3D the way that I, then this video will help you out in a major way. The video will help anyone in less than 2 minutes. With the examples that I've posted, you can take the code directly as it's written and try it out. Okay? I have tried tons of code from watching videos that were 5 minutes to 40 minutes. And I struggle with trying to reproduce the type of movement that other games have 3D and controls. Now, the video is basically going to explain the difference between using transform.basis.x, as I saw in many videos, and using translation the way that they have suggested in documentation. And I didn't get it until I actually stopped using a pile of code and overcomplicating the process, and let me just explain this straight for you guys. Okay, coding in Godot can seem like it's complicated, but the more simple you keep it, the better of a result you will get. And I found this out because I was using vector 3 and transform.basis. My character, he was this big, and then he would blow up this big on the screen. Okay, and translation, even when you are trying to spawn a character from a position 3D, you would want to use translation. Okay, don't use transform because some really weird things may happen. Okay, but straight to the point. Translate object local, and forgive me because I'm kind of reading from notes on the side. But translate object local with a vector 3 and a variable. Let's just say something about as small as 0.05 is what you would need if you are going to use to move your character forward and backwards. This is what I use. Okay, this way, when you are moving forward and backwards and you choose to rotate your character, you do not experience deviation. Meaning, like in every 3D game that most people have designed, when you turn your character turns along with the axis and you push forward and they still run forward. Well, if you are using anything other than that, which I have, as well as rotation degrees, then you will experience deviation, meaning the character will turn and you will push forward and they will go in a totally different direction. Okay, they may even look in a different direction, but you'll push forward and they'll go in a different direction. It won't be in the direction that you would want your character to go in. Okay, excuse me. So if you are going to use a forward or reverse motion for your character in 3D, then I would suggest using translate object local and then a vector 3, 0 for your x, 0 for your y, and then let's just say something like a 0.05 for your z. And I would say if input is action pressed, let's just say if you're trying to move forward, you use up, and you use the code that I've just suggested, then your character will move slowly forward. Okay, that's pretty much what I could suggest to anyone that has had trouble with axis deviation the way that I have. I'm not saying the code that I'm giving you is perfect, but if you are someone that is new to Godot and you are struggling with trying to find a way to move your characters in 3D, as far as just getting right in and getting them going, then that's what you want to use. I've struggled with trying to use transform.basis, and it never gave me the result that I was actually looking for. If you guys look at the video that I posted with the cowboy and the horse last night, then that's an example of me just using up, down, and left, right as far as the motion going back and forth. Okay, so instead of me just telling people about it, I posted an example video first, and then I shot this one. I'll be posting the other. But for rotation, using the given code that I already described, along with rotating your character. Okay, I found that using simple, and I mean it, just type it as rotate underscore y, and then give it a variable as small as something like I used 0.035 because that gave me the right amount of rotation speed. Once again, you can use that as your left and right, to rotate left and right, as you've seen how I was able to turn the horse 360 degrees. I also gave them a small translation.z motion variable, um, which is multiplied by delta, so that the horse doesn't like spin like a top, okay? Because you would much rather write your code not in a function and then add a function to uh, func physics delta. You would much rather write that right in process delta, and the reason, it would give you two different results, okay? If you don't believe me, try it out. You might get some crazy results, but sticking straight to the point, use rotate, okay? If you create a space game, if you create like a platformer or something, like I'm working my way through, but you really want to use rotate, because a lot of people will say use vectors and use all of this that, and you will end up running into angle. Like they'll turn, but they'll stop. If you use is action press, they'll just spin like a top, because that means that that is just gonna it's gonna repeat. Okay, so if you use is action just press the way I used to, then they would hit a certain angle. If you use the vector and divide pi, which basically from my understanding is more or less like 360. If you divide by 1, he will spin totally around. If you divide by 4, you'll get 4 different angles, and then on and then on. Once again, I am not super professional at this, but I've definitely been working with Godot in general for about 5 years, just this one version. So I definitely know a few ins and outs and a couple of tricks, man. But this video should definitely help a lot of people who are having problems with 3D. But rotate, add a small variable, and then use is action pressed. Okay, so if you use left or right, then they will turn. Make sure that you use for both functions. And is action just released function as well, because if you don't, they'll just keep spinning. The is action released will actually stop the motion and keep your character where they need to be. Because once again, if you don't write anything else, they'll just keep spinning. But hey, appreciate that. But yeah, back to it, man. Just in general, the video that I'm dropping here is just to let people know that you can implement this code in less than 5 minutes, and it will probably take you longer to watch some YouTube videos to figure out what I just told you, if you haven't figured it out already. Because a lot of people really don't give up secrets, really good secrets when it comes to coding, especially as far as Godot. But I'm going to be releasing as many videos as I can for people who have asked me to create animations and other things. But this is probably one of the biggest things that I found out as far as 3D, because I struggled with this in a lot of games that I was working on. I really hadn't released because my 360 deviation from the character spinning and not being on the right axis, it was just never correct. The character would tilt and be at funny angles and stuff. But I pretty much figured out, and hopefully the video that I'm giving to you guys watch, and you take the code, man, and just try different things with it, and hopefully it just gets you guys straight to where it is you're trying to go, rather than watching hours of other people's YouTube videos. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I've spent hours watching other YouTube videos, and in many cases I never got the result that I was looking for, and I've spent hours grinding it out in between two consoles. And once I figured out what it was and how it actually worked, and how it worked pretty solid, I just started releasing videos first as an example, to let people know that yes, this code is solid. And if you use another version, which I'm still using 3.1 and working from, Godot 4 for other things, but I primarily just use 3.1.2, and this code has worked pretty solid for me. So I hope this code works for you guys. I hope that this video helps. Please like, share, subscribe. If you do like the video, hit the notification so you guys don't miss anything else. Once again, this is game development using Godot. I am the Enigma Artist, and I will be releasing more tutorials. If you guys actually have requests for any videos that you would want me to release, as far as things you may be having trouble with, like some of the other people that I talk to on YouTube, please go ahead and just drop a comment and leave a request. I'm the Enigma Artist, man, and happy game deving. I'm out.